Good evening, everyone. I know it's late, but I did have a chance to look at the president's speech, and I just wanted to comment on it this evening. Great speech, Mr. President. That was one of the better ones that I've heard from President Trump. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. And of course, he talked a lot about what's happening here, what happened here in Charlottesville a little over 1 week ago. And he stuck to his guns. I was so proud of him for doing that. That's what I've done to support him as well. And that is to recognize that we have these thugs on both sides. It wasn't just the neo-Nazis and the KKK, which he denounced and I denounced numerous times. But of course, there are these thugs with baseball bats, having masks over their faces and wearing helmets. This thug group called Antifa or Antifa. He was right to denounce them. He was right to call them out and say, look, the left still hasn't yet denounced these violent groups on the left. And we have them on the right, but every single Republican has denounced them. He was also right in, again, doubling down, I thought, on protecting our heritage, protecting our history here in Virginia and across the country. It's happening, unfortunately. I hate to be wrong on this because I said it was going to happen. Once you allow the left to take down the monuments to Robert E. Lee and to Stonewall Jackson, good and honorable men, once you allow the left to take them down, they won't stop there. And now we're seeing that, in fact, happening. Right here in Virginia, the Hotel Roanoke taking down paintings of not only Robert E. Lee, but George Washington. George Washington, the father of our country. Just so wrong, and it's not stopping there. It's also continuing with the statues to Christopher Columbus and also to Teddy Roosevelt. This is an effort by the left to really tear down American history, rip us out of our culture and our heritage and our history, replace it with nothing except what they redefine our history and our heritage as. Doesn't that sound familiar? Look, it should sound familiar because that is what the Bolsheviks did in the Soviet Union once they gained control. We've never had this happen in America before. If you can control the past, you can define. If you can define the past, you can control the future, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Marx even discussed this in his writings about ripping down statues, taking down the heroes of the community of our nation. And once you do that, and you've taken the foundation out, it's like taking the foundation off of a home. If you were to take it out, the home would collapse. It would wither away. It would just wash away. And that is what the left is trying to do. He was right to double down on that. And he basically then he ended his speech by saying, "Look, this is what the left is focused on, and what the president is focused on." And what Republicans in the Senate and the House should be focused in on, especially in the Senate, is bringing back jobs, fixing and a complete repeal of Obamacare, getting rid of Obamacare, bringing back jobs. And he is working and doing that. And we need to make sure that he gets the support from those in the Senate and in the House. He's not getting it. He's certainly not getting it from Tim Kaine. Tim Kaine, the current U.S. Senator from Virginia, who ran for vice presidential, very embarrassing run, I thought. And he, every morning Tim Kaine wakes up and thinks of new ways that he can undermine the President of the United States as the President is trying to make America great again. Very, very shameful. We're not going to allow that happen in Virginia. As you all know, I've got this campaign. I'm running for the United States Senate. We're in fundraising mode. If you can go to my website, no matter where you are in the United States of America, you can contribute to my campaign, www.CraaazyStewart.com. Hey, one thing, folks, I wanted to mention that yesterday the NAACP condemned me. Why? Because I condemned Antifa. They think that I wasn't strong enough in denouncing these hateful groups down there, the neo-Nazis, the KKK. I did that just as much as the president did, and I also condemned Antifa and the far left groups, the violent left groups. Apparently, they didn't like that very much. Now, the left is doing that, including the NAACP, not a big surprise. But what is very, very disappointing, of course, is the Republicans, weak-kneed Republicans, going along with it. And saying that somehow, I'm fueling the fans of racism, fanning racism, because I'm also denouncing the violence committed by the far left groups. It's ridiculous. They're saying the same thing about President Trump, and Republicans going along with it. Not only are Republicans, not so many Republicans, establishment Republicans, on my board of supervisors, Marty Noe and Janine Lawson, very disappointed in her. She's always been a never Trumper, so has Marty. And then accusing me of basically going along with the left here and condemning me and President Trump. Very disappointing, but frankly not too surprising. But anyway, we're going to leave it at that, folks. Have a great rest of your evening and a great rest of your week. Go to my website, www.com, contribute, sign in to volunteer. Have a great night, everybody.